Good evening, y'all. Happy Thursday, happy Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's edition of the Activated Author Live. Hope you're having a great Thursday so far. And this week is going to be a deep dive. So last week was more of a case study I had Cecilia McMorris on. So she was gracious enough to share her story of her experience going through the Truth to Transformation Book Boot Camp, the free workshops that I used to do every month, as well as the author activation weekend, the full intensive, because she's been through all of the stages. And we got to hear her story in terms of where she is right now with her book. Again, 121 pages in, and she's still working on it. Like, she's still tweaking and refining. But in today's episode, especially in honor of Independence Day coming up, at least here in the United States, I wanted to talk about books in relation to your financial independence. There's a lot of chatter going on about whether or not you can achieve financial freedom through books, and the truthful answer is you technically can. The caveat is it won't be through book sales alone, not unless your name is James Clear. He's the author of Atomic Habits, or unless you're someone like Jack Canfield, who is the author and, I like to say, producer of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series of books. Like, if you have a really big name, then yes, by all means, the book sales alone will suffice. But there are ways to earn revenue outside of just book sales, like sales of the copies of the book, especially when you're just starting, because we know most of us are, unknown. Most of us are unknown. So, yeah, got a couple folks trying to tune in. By all means, let me know, by the way, if you're watching, let me know in the comments if you can hear me and see me clearly. All right. I want to make sure I am loud and clear and visible. But yeah, as I get into this, I'm going to walk you guys through 7 different income streams that are available to you through the use of your book, outside of just selling copies of the book itself. Okay. Now, what these 7 income streams are going to be predicated on, though, is that you build your offer into the book's pages. Like, your offer has to be within the pages of the book. And that's a cheat code not a lot of people understand or tend to forget. Okay. There are times when that tends to be forgotten. So the key there is put your offer at the beginning of the book. I like to say in the middle of the book, as well as the end. We heard from Marie Incontrera, who is an author coach, and she offers her own self-publishing services for her clients too. She was saying beginning and end, but she also co-signed on what I was saying, which is beginning, middle, and end. So we want to make sure we build in that offer into the pages of your book, so that the people who read it will be aware of the opportunities that you have for them. Okay. So I'm going to jump right in. Income stream number 1 around your book is to create a program. This is the most common one. Like, everybody and their mom know about this one, right? Like, you build an offer, whether that's a coaching program, maybe an evergreen course, something like that, but building a program around the book. So I'll use my book as an example. The Pain to Prose Playbook is going to teach my framework, my system to take a book from ideation to publication. Then I would build around it or attach the offer, which is the Truth to Transformation Book Boot Camp. And I would sell VIP tickets for that, right, in terms of monetization. Because the book boot camp has both a free general admission as well as a paid VIP option. Or if I choose to, I can attach the retreat, the author activation weekend, the 4-day intensive. That can be the upsell that is attached to the book. And there are people who may want to go ahead and make the investment after having read the book. Maybe they read the book, read the system, and didn't implement it while they were reading, the intensive would give them the opportunity for implementation. And if you've never heard this before, and this is something you're interested in terms of your nonfiction book, if you're creating something that's going to be a tool for transformation, a lot of the coaches will tell you, set, like, give away the what, but sell the implementation. Give them what the information is, give the information away for free, sell the implementation. So, you create a program, you attach something to your book. All right. Another example would be my coach, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. What he did when he was selling his Yo-You Mastermind, he made sure to attach a book with it, the Yo-You 365 devotional. So you connect your book with a program, and there are people who are super excited to be in the mastermind and also receive the devotional. When I first got into the Yo-You Mastermind, it wasn't the devotional. I helped edit that to get it published. But this one, the New York Times bestselling book, You. And initially, when he was selling the mastermind, everybody that signed up got free copies of that, of You. So those are examples of combining a program with your book, tying a program into your book. And the reason that works and can give you financial freedom is that you get to decide the value with that. The market kind of limits you in terms of how much you can sell your book for if you're using the platforms. There's a certain price range on Amazon where you can get the 70% royalties for your paperback or hardcover. There's a price range if you're selling on KDP for the ebook, like on the Kindle, $2.99 to $9.99 if you want the 70% royalty rate. Okay, like, when you're dealing with the platforms, the big distributors, they put boundaries around how much you can price your book for. And depending on the kind of physical book you want to create, if you want to do something beyond paperback, that eats into your margins. So if you want a laminate hardcover, that's the one with no dust jacket. That's one eating away of your margins. If you get fancy and want the dust jacket like this one, the devotional, that gives you even slimmer margins because it costs more to produce those books. It costs more to print them. Okay. When you have your own program around your book, you can sell it direct to your customers or to your clients. So you'd have it on your own website and create your own greater sense of value. With the platforms, all you can do is sell the book itself. When it's on your own website, you can tie in all sorts of things. And we'll get into a couple of these other options as we go through the list. Like I said, I've got 7 of them for you. This is just number 1. So one way to earn more income or greater revenue around your book sales is to tie in a program. Here's number 2. Separate launches for different formats of the book. So you might be considering releasing your book in paperback, in hardcover, maybe hardcover with dust jacket, an ebook, an audiobook, and maybe a couple of other formats. However, you don't have to do all of that all at once. Let me free you up if that was something you were considering. It is perfectly possible and perfectly acceptable in the marketplace to stagger your launches, because that too can determine or increase the level of income that you can produce from your one book. You wrote the IP the one time, but initially you can do a paperback and ebook release the first time. Like, that can be your first launch. And then subsequently, maybe 90 days later, or maybe 6 months later, drop the audiobook exclusively. That can be its own launch. And that can generate a separate arm of revenue for you. And if we're being real, the audiobook will likely produce more income for you than the paperback or ebook will, because there's far less expense with the audiobook. Far less. It's a digital file. Whereas with the paperback, you're paying for the cost to print the thing. So you're paying for the physical material and the cost to print it and ship it. With an audiobook, it's a digital file. You record the thing with a device you have already paid for. likely your phone or your computer or a mobile device. If you're doing it the poor man's way, you don't rent a studio. You can use your closet because your closet has clothing that will absorb any excess sound or reverb. Like it's far lower cost compared to renting a studio. So once you have your audio files produced, you put the audiobook together, you compile all the files, online it goes. Obviously, there is a certain window of prices that you would use for your audiobook based on what the market will bear, but still, like you have a lot more leeway and a lot more margin with an audiobook compared to a paperback or a hardcover. So you stagger it. You do your paperback and your ebook, or your hardcover and your ebook if you don't want paperback. Do those two together. Do an audiobook separately. Or if you want to separate the physical and the ebook, you can do that. You can drop the paperback first, wait 90 days, drop the ebook, wait another 90, drop the audiobook. And perhaps if you wish to get this original with it, you can produce a series of videos that are connected to your book, or the video, like do videos that are the content of your book, which is a whole other format. And you can do a launch for your video series at a completely separate time, perhaps 6 months later or even a year later, as part of something that will be evergreen and connected to your book. That's another source of income for you. You create your own funnel for it, package it up in the way that your target reader would be looking for. That's another source of revenue for you. Okay. So that's number two, separate launches in different formats, because the one piece of IP can take on multiple different forms. You can create a blog series, or one of the later, I'm getting ahead of myself here. One of the later things that you can do to monetize, to further monetize your book, is to create a newsletter, a paid newsletter. But let me jump to number three first before I do that. Create a live event based on your book. So my situation is kind of the reverse. I created the live event first. The author activation weekend is my live event. And then the Pain to Prose Playbook is coming August 1st. But you can do it in the other direction. You can write your book. Maybe you don't want to do a live event just yet, but this is an eventuality if you're open to it. Perhaps once you release your book, based on reader feedback, readers are like, "Oh, I like this. Like, I like what you're talking about. I like this idea." You know what I mean? Can you provide so and so? Like, based on what they're asking you for, like, you can create a live event based on that feedback and based on the subject matter in your book. Okay. So that's an option. Create a live event based on the book. And the beauty with the live event is you can charge way more for that. And honestly, you will need to, because it costs money to put on a live event. You've got to book a venue, or at the very least, get a venue sponsor, like a host sponsor. But you have the venue, depending on whether or not you're feeding the people, depending on how long your live event is going to be. You would need to account for food. You'll need to account for some form of entertainment, whether that's somebody playing music off their laptop, or if you actually book a DJ, or if you're booking live music like a performer or a band. Like, a live event has more logistic cost, but there is a greater financial opportunity for you if you create a live event based on your book. So that's an option. Okay. Number four, I mentioned it, a paid newsletter. Believe it or not, these still exist. Like, paid newsletters are still a thing. There are folks that pay to subscribe and get valuable information sent to their emails, or people subscribe to Substack. If you're not familiar with Substack, Substack is a platform that allows content creators to put their IP out there without the pressure of getting their stuff pulled. The one setback with the social media platforms is that, one, if you read the fine print, a lot of them own your IP once you put it on their platform. They're not going to tell you that out loud like that, but that is part of the fine print. Like, you're on their platform, so they fully reserve the right to pull your stuff if they disagree with it, or just if they want to. Like, YouTube was guilty of this for a while there. Like, during COVID-19, they were very strict about information that was put out regards to medical information or ways that you can provide wellness for yourself medicinally or holistically. And they would pull YouTube accounts. And then it wasn't until about 2024 or 2025 when they said, okay, we're going to reinstate the YouTube accounts that we deleted or pulled based on the COVID-19 related content. Fortunately, my previous employer, I was able to give them that information and their channel was reinstated. So as of right now, they've got 2 YouTube channels and both are monetized. So shout out to them. But yeah, this is a paid newsletter is something you can do. And Substack is currently the most well-known platform on which you can do this. It's not the only one, but it's currently the most well-known one because that's the platform a lot of celebrities flocked to when they got tired of Facebook and Twitter and all of these other ones. Once they got tired of that and they were able to go to a platform where they could monetize their written content, it's working for them. There are folks that are making 5 figures a month on their Substack. And there are folks who are using other regular email platforms such as MailChimp or using a client relations management software, CRM software like Go High Level, and producing these email newsletters that go out to people's inboxes. As long as you're providing transformational value in the written content, people don't mind you hitting them in their inbox every single day or once a week, however often you want your written content to be put out there. People are willing to pay for a subscription for that. So that is an option for you. And by all means, do further research on that. Use Google if you want to look into it to find out how you would want to price those subscriptions. But that option is available to you, okay? Book income stream number 5, related products. This sounds generic, but I put it in a general sense just to encapsulate the different genres or topics. The first thing that comes to mind is health and fitness, right? A lot of health and fitness folks will attach a supplement to their book. If they're talking about, reducing diabetes or putting type 2 diabetes in remission, they might have a kind of tea that they want to sell you. Or if it's a fitness person, they'll have a white label supplement that they'll want to sell you. If you're not familiar with what white label means, it means the product itself is already created. It is not your proprietary thing. It's something that is generic and available for everybody. But what they'll do is they'll slap your branding on it. So you get to sell it as if it's yours. There are tons of supplement companies that do this. Tons. Like, the supplement itself is provided by a specific vendor, but it's blank. You get to put your branding on it. You get to put your label on the bottle. So there are a lot of fitness folks who will do that with their supplements, and a lot of health consultants who will do that with teas and stuff, because it's done with teas as well. Like, teas can white label. Their, tea vendors can do white label services where you can put your name on it. All right. But related products, another example of this would be merch. So say, for instance, you have something that is, that has a great and powerful message to it. Say, for instance, you're writing a book that is going towards a cause, a powerful cause. Let's use an example such as recovering from domestic violence or surviving domestic violence. Say you decide to create a line of clothing or shirts or something with like empowering messages for women. That's a related product. You get to sell that as a tie-in to your book. That is a revenue option. Okay. So you don't have to rely solely on just the copies of the book sold. You have your online store, whether that's Etsy, you can do it through Go High Level, you can do it through Shopify, Printful, Printify. There are plenty of them online. but you have your store, or even Redbubble, I want to say is the name of another one, another popular one. Any of those online platforms, you have your merch store, it's tied into your book. You make sure to put your offer in the book, beginning, middle, and end. That way your reader sees the offer, they get the reiteration each time that they see it, so that by the time they reach the end of the book, they remember, oh yeah, I'm kind of curious about this merch. Let me see what they're talking about. Then they'll go to your online storefront. And if they like what they see, they'll make a purchase. That's extra revenue for you. And if your online storefront is print on demand, that's far less that you got to worry about, because then that particular provider will do all of the fulfillment for you. You don't have to do it yourself. If you choose to do it yourself, the advantage there is, while you do have to hold the stock yourself, you get to create a deeper customer experience because you get to customize what the customer gets. When it's print on demand, they're just getting a shirt, like in the box with the packing slip and nothing else. If you curate the experience, you get to add whatever you want to the package. So here's a perfect example for what I plan on doing with mine. For anybody that pre-orders my book, they're getting not only the book, I have pens, so they're getting my author activation pens, as well as a journal. So they get the journal, they get the Paint to Prose Playbook, they get a pen. Stand by on whether or not I'm going to include the shirts. I've been considering that. But the point is, when you hold the stock yourself, you get to curate it and create a more personalized experience for your reader. Okay. But related products, that's another way to increase the revenue that you can make from a book, in addition to just the book sales. Option number 6, affiliate marketing. The beauty with option number 6 here is that you can tie in products that maybe aren't directly in line with what your book is about, but maybe complementary to what your book is about. And the beauty is, it's not any product that you have to be responsible for creating. Affiliate marketing is you selling other people's stuff for them, and you get to collect a percentage of the commission. Shout out to Ms. Rosalie. She said, yeah, shirt, please. I love it. I love it. I don't blame you. The author activation shirts are fire, and the material is amazing. So for affiliate marketing, you get to sell other people's products. So going back to that fitness example I named earlier for related products, right? Say for instance, you do have a book on fitness, but maybe you're not selling a supplement yourself. Maybe you're not the one that's doing the white label, but perhaps you meet somebody and you realize that their supplements do add value. They do work for people. So maybe you do what I'm about to head into in a second, a joint venture or a collaboration. But there is a slight difference between affiliate marketing and a joint venture. With affiliate marketing, what you can do is create your own storefront, whether on your website, or if you choose to do it through Amazon, because Amazon does provide that option for small businesses to create a page. And people like Dr. Myron Golden have done this. Like, he has his own Amazon page that is purely affiliate stuff. It's other people's books. His own books are included in that storefront, but he has a bunch of other people's books that he read and thought would be valuable. So any offer, any challenge, or anything that he makes, he presents us, the participants, with his storefront, and he collects a commission if we ever make a purchase for any of the things in his storefront. That's possible for you too. That is another revenue source for you outside of just your book sales. Affiliate marketing isn't talked about nearly as often now as it used to be, but it is still a viable option. It is still something you can do to generate additional revenue and attain financial freedom. Like, it is possible for you. Okay. Now, heading into what I just mentioned with the joint ventures and collaborations, the difference between affiliate marketing and joint ventures is that with the joint ventures, there's more of a collective lift from all parties. With affiliate marketing, the product isn't yours at all. Like, you're just helping the other person sell their product, and you just take you get a percentage of commission based on how many you sell. With a joint venture, you have as much skin in the game as the other person, because the two of you, or how many ever of you, are coming together to produce a product that's going to be sold in connection to your book. So here's an example of this. This one is a free example, but it's still a joint venture. It's still a collaboration. Recently, Dr. Myron Golden did an interview on Lewis Howes's podcast, The School of Greatness. And I just saw today on Facebook, via Facebook ad, they are doing a joint collaboration for a free downloadable book. I want to say it has to do with greatness, but it's a book that offers multiple frameworks to help you go to the next level. So collaborations, like, this is an option for you. What I just mentioned is a free example because it's a free downloadable, but I promise you, if it's Lewis Howes and Myron Golden, that free ebook is going to lead you to a landing page that's going to upsell you to something else. Like, they have a program. There's a paid thing that they're going to offer you once you download the ebook. Okay. So this is an option for you. You can do a joint venture or a collaboration with perhaps a clothing designer. Maybe you don't have merch for yourself, but maybe you want to team up with somebody who is a designer and create a collection specifically tied to your book. Okay. Or you can do a white label sort of thing that's going to tie into what your book is about. That's an option too. But yeah, joint ventures and collabs, this is another way for you to earn revenue. If you decide to create content that ties into your book, then the eventuality for the content, when your audience grows large enough, is a brand deal, which is a joint venture or collaboration with a brand. Like, you're promoting their brand and then they pay you a certain amount of money to promote their brand. Okay. You sign the contract. So these are all the options. I ran through them very quickly. Shout out to all of y'all that have been listening. So let me run them back down really quickly. One, you create a program. That's the first revenue stream. You create a program. So for that example I just mentioned with Lewis Howes and Myron Golden, they have a free ebook that is a lead magnet. You sign up, you download the ebook, you get all the frameworks that they're offering. That funnel, once you download the free ebook, is going to upsell you into a program, some kind of paid thing, whether that's a course, a mastermind, something like that, which, by the way, as I say that is a bonus. We'll say this as number 8 in terms of an income stream secret, or as an income stream source. Your book can lead to a mastermind or a paid community. That's another option. And the beauty with a paid community is it's a subscription. So that is recurring revenue for you. And again, by all means, study what the market will bear for that in your respective topic or genre. The most common place is business. So people like their YouTube channels like Hello 7. Shout out to Rachel Rogers. I love her. She has a paid community. Tiffany Alashay, she has her Dream Catchers community. That's a subscription. There are plenty of folks who have paid communities that are not the same as masterminds. Masterminds are the highest ticket item. You'll want to build up your audience in offers to get to your mastermind offering if you want to create one. No shame in creating one, but make sure you give your readers, your audience, a sort of offer ladder, like an experience. So if they're starting with your book, then bump them up to like a mid-level offer of some kind, then a signature offer, then you can go up to a mastermind. Or your book, mid-level offer, live event, mastermind. That's an offer ladder. That's an example of an offer ladder. Okay. But don't go from book to mastermind, because masterminds are very high ticket. Those are intended to be in the 5 figures usually, and they're usually per year. So then you would set up the program accordingly. But a paid community, that can be as affordable as $19.99 a month. Some communities are $30 a month. Some are, $97 a month. One great example is Liz J. Simpson, who teaches women to create offers to get them hired by corporate, whether that's corporate speaking opportunities, corporate coaching programs, curriculum, that sort of thing. but she helps women get hired by corporations. She has a community, $97 a month. That's viable. And her community is huge. I used to be in it. Her community has hundreds of people in it. So that's an idea. That's a bonus. Number 8, paid community. You can go from your book to a paid community. That's something you can easily set up. And the setup doesn't have to be expensive either. You can set it up in something free like Telegram, or you can do it as a Facebook group. You can use WhatsApp. There are plenty of platforms you can use for the community. You can, if you want to make it more robust and give it some more moving parts, you can use something like Mighty Networks. Or if you're doing a really heavy lift, it's going to be expensive, but Kajabi. But yeah, there are plenty of ways that you can create your community. The least heavy lift is something like a Telegram, because Telegram is free, or WhatsApp. Okay. But go for a community. Come prepared with a pen and a notebook. Absolutely. Shout out to Ms. Rosalie for the comments. But yeah, so number 1, create a program. Number 2, as we continue to reiterate, separate your launches for the different formats. So you can do paperback first, ebook second, or start with the ebook. That's an option. Start with the ebook first because that's the easiest for people to acquire. That's a simple download. The least heavy lift, right? The lightest lift, I should say. Start with the ebook, wait 90 days, drop a paperback. Wait 90 more days, drop your audiobook. Stagger it some more, maybe produce some kind of video content, and that can be its own thing. Okay. If your book is more of a narrative sort of thing, like a memoir, or perhaps something like historical fiction or a biography, something like that, if you want to, you could produce a limited podcast. Like most people create podcasts that are just ongoing forever and ever and ever. Amen. But there are podcasts that are a fixed amount of episodes, and that's the end of it from start to finish. Like true crime podcasts. There's some true crime podcasts that are like that, where they chronicle the entire story of a case. So if your book is a specific narrative, maybe it's a memoir, so you're narrating your life from the beginning of it to where you are now, from start to finish. That podcast can be its own separate release. It's an idea, you know? So separate launches, and each version you charge a separate price for it because the format is different, and that's additional revenue for you. Number 3, create a live event based on the book. Obviously, that's going to be a higher charge because there's a higher cost to put it on. So that gives you greater margin for profit for yourself, greater margin of income. A paid newsletter. You can do a Substack. Like, that's where it's at right now. To my knowledge, it's user friendly, and a lot of folks are generating revenue off of that. And if you know how to use your AI tools to help you save time in producing the content, not to have the AI write everything for you and you just put that out, but have it produce an outline for you, or have it produce the beginnings of the content for you, and then you make tweaks as necessary. You can leverage your time there using an AI tool, create a paid newsletter, and as long as you're providing transformative value in each of your emails or each of your drops, people will pay money for that. Research what paid newsletters can cost, and that way you can choose what to charge for people to subscribe to your newsletter. Okay. Number 5, related products. These are, your merch tie-ins. If you're doing fitness stuff, maybe your supplement tie-ins, your white label, your teas, you know what I mean? A shirt, you know what I mean? A journal. If say for instance, your book is a book on how you specifically found different ways to heal, perhaps you would throw in a journal like this, you know what I mean? And make it available for people to buy. Affiliate marketing for number 6. Again, this is you selling other people's products for them, and you collect a commission based on that. The product is not yours. It's theirs, and you're selling it for them. And then joint ventures and collabs. This is where you do have skin in the game in whatever that product is that you're selling. So it's you and the other person or the other group of people, and all of you are selling and promoting the product together as it ties in as a complement to your book. And then, of course, the bonus one, the number 8, is a paid community. That's a continuity offer, as Dr. Myron Golden teaches. It's a continuity offer. Continuity offers are the best because that is recurring revenue. That is revenue you can rely on every single month. And depending on how much your subscription is, your community doesn't have to be big for you to make a lot of money. Like, depending on the value you bring, depending on the format in which your community runs, if it's on an online platform where you're bringing in guest speakers, you can charge triple figures for it per month. There is a young lady I had on the show named Nicole Point du Jour. Shout out to her. She is what she does. She branded herself as the master connector, and that was actually the name of her book too. Her community is $147 a month. But what she does is each month she has a Zoom call. Everybody comes on, they're networking, and then she has a speaker come in. And the speaker provides value for all of her members, which I was like, that's smart. And I've taken note of it myself. Like, that's something I'm considering eventually for the Activated Authors community. I want to be able to bring in speakers that will pour into the members of my author community. But that's something for you to consider for your book. And as I mentioned, it doesn't have to cost you money to create the community itself. It can be a free platform like Telegram or WhatsApp or a Facebook group. Okay. There are plenty of platforms that you can do for free so that when the membership subscriptions come in, that's just profit for you. Right. So let me know if this was beneficial. If you have any questions, drop that in the comments. I got you. Happy Thursday, Anthony. I see you on Instagram. Shout out to you. And shout out to Michelle Lee, hashtag Sour Fizzy Cola over there on Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you, sis. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions about this, or by all means, drop in the comments which ideas resonated most with you. Like, which one do you want to try on first? Let me know that in the chat or in the comments. So watch this one back, like take screenshots of each of the income opportunities that work best for you. And by all means, take them and run with them. Like, a book is one of the most versatile ways to earn revenue through repurposing. Because number 9, the other bonus that is the most obvious one outside of creating a program is, of course, speaking. Speaking opportunities, like, that is the most obvious door that a book can unlock. Because between two people who have equal amount of credentials, if an event coordinator is choosing between you and the other person and you're the one that's the author, they're choosing you. A book adds an insane level of credibility to anything that you're doing, because what people understand with books is the same thing that they understand with people who are physically fit. You have built-in discipline. It takes discipline and commitment to author a book, to come up with the idea, write the whole thing from start to finish, and go through the entire publication process. People understand that there's a level of commitment and discipline required to publish a book, and that speaks volumes to your character. They want to see that. They like that. So that is built-in credibility for you when you have a book available for you. Okay. Those speak to soft qualities in you that you don't have to promote for yourself. The book promotes it for you. Okay. So that's number 9, the speaking opportunities. And by all means, the beauty of using your book, this will actually feed into book sales, but doing speaking at different events for free is how you can introduce your book to be sold, like copies of your book to be sold. Because there are certain organizations or venues that won't want you to like charge a speaking fee, but they might let you sell copies of your book in the back. And that's great. That's still revenue for you. Even if you can't charge a fee to speak, that's still extra revenue for you. And you just got yourself in front of more people. So that builds your pool, it builds your audience. And when you do speaking, that builds your email list so that maybe they don't buy your book in the back of the room at the time that you did the speaking event, but you have their email. So now you can promote your book to them in your email sequence. And if you do that often enough, they'll come around, they'll buy your book, because a book is a relatively low cost investment. So, 9 revenue streams for you out of one piece of IP. And I promise you, that was still a drop in the bucket. Shout out to L. David Harris. I had him speak at the very first retreat that I did, the Spring Forward Writers Retreat in 2025, at the end of March of 2025. And he went over a whopping 12 different income streams that you could produce with one book, one piece of IP. It was incredible to hear him go over that. But I wanted to present you with these options as we head into Independence Day weekend. Financial independence is a priority for everybody right now, especially everybody in the United States, because the math ain't mathing. And I get it. Trust me, I understand the stress you might be under, or you're probably wondering, like, okay, what are my options here? And if a book is something you've been considering, let this live stream, come back and play this replay. Let this live stream be your permission to present you with a bunch of options of how you can further monetize your book. And the thing that I mentioned at the beginning that is built into this entire message is sell directly to your readers. Don't just rely on the platforms. Yes, the platforms help. They help your book have a broader reach. So Amazon makes your book more searchable. Google Books, that's another option. That's another platform that you can use that's going to make your book more searchable, because the goal is for you to be more discoverable. So Google Books, Apple Books, like, that's a place where you can have your book distributed. And of course, through Ingram Spark, your book is searchable by libraries and bookstores, including independent bookstores. So you do want to use the platforms, but make sure you have your own landing page or your own website dedicated to your book, so you can tie in all of these different revenue options for yourself. And you can price them as you see fit, as you need to. That way you can understand what your costs are in your life to be you, how much it costs to be you, and create an offer accordingly to make up for those costs, right? Let me know if this made sense, but I appreciate you for tuning in to this edition of the Activated Author Live. Make sure you catch next Wednesday's episode. And again, subscribe on YouTube at Activated Author. You can follow me on Instagram and Threads at Activated Author. We are officially in the new rebrand. We are in the full outfit. So thank you guys for rocking with me from day one. I appreciate you. And if you're new to this channel, to this brand, to Melissa T, welcome. My whole goal is to help authors who've navigated, or aspiring authors who've navigated a trauma or transition, find healing through writing and publishing their first book and turning that trauma or transition into a tool of transformation. Okay? Books have the power to change lives. We can run down the whole list of them, but I'm sure you have a book or two that has changed your life. And here's the thing, you have the power to create a book that can change someone else's life. So if that's something you're interested in doing, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, okay? At Activated Author. I've got all the playlists that you need to create your book from start to finish, and how to market your book as well. I got you covered, all right? And just a quick mention, I've got my book, the Pain to Prose Playbook, coming out. It drops August 1st. You can pre-order your copy today at paintoprose.com. Right now, the ebook and the paperback are available for pre-order. So if you're interested, go to paintoprose.com to pre-order your copy today. But in the meantime, in between time, y'all, have a great rest of your Thursday and a great rest of your week. Enjoy your Independence Day weekend. Peace and love. Take care.